Cougar Nation, and welcome to Geisman Gymnasium here on Saturday, February 15th for a doubleheader of Cougar basketball in River Forest. Concordia Chicago taking on St. Norbert's College in both the men's and women's games today at CUC. And it's going to be a tough day of basketball for Concordia. Both of these St. Norbert's teams highly rated. And first up is going to be those women's teams. Cougar women's basketball taking on St. Norbert's women's team, a team that is currently at the top of the NAC. And the Cougars coming off of a tough road game this past Thursday. Cougars took on Aurora University and fell 92-57. Puts them on 2 consecutive losses in a row. And there was a bright spot from that game despite such a big loss.
Oh yeah, 100%. The big bright spot for that game was Alina Paul for the Cougs. She had 16 points in just 15 minutes of play coming off the bench, 6 for 9 shooting, 4 for 6 from 3. All of those are career highs for Paul, who's just a sophomore here at CUC. So a very productive game by her, and the Cougs are hoping that she can have another big performance like that off the bench here today.
I mean, this Cougars team, this is a team that has been stretched thin this season. Small rosters, they've lost players during the season to injuries and other things. It's tough when you have a small roster as a basketball team. The more players you have who appear who can make an impact, the better it is. Now on St. Norbert's end, they're coming off of a big win themselves, 89-67 at Lakeland. They moved up to 12-1 in the conference play. Their only loss coming to MSOE a few weeks ago. And I mean, you want to talk about producers. They had a lot of different producers that day. 5 different players scoring in the double digits, 1-9, 1-8. But, I mean, it was Theory, who has been great all season long. She's led their team. She led them this last game as well.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Taylor Theory is essentially the offense for St. Norbert. The offense runs through her. And like you said, in the last game against Lakeland, she had 19 points, 10 rebounds, a double-double in just 21 minutes of play. That is extremely efficient. She has been great at maximizing her minutes and just putting up big offensive numbers for St. Norbert all across the board.
I mean, the other thing is they have players who can score across the board. You look up and down their roster from that box score against that Lakeland game. You had 8 players who scored a bucket, or even attempted a shot. All of them scoring at least 8 points.
Yeah, when you have that kind of production all across the board, then you don't really have to worry about one or two of your star players potentially going on slumps or just not being able to hit some shots. Because when you know that you have those players ready to come off the bench and put in the work and score points, it's a very nice feeling to have. You don't have to worry as much.
And this is something we'll spin into then as we go through that. Keys to the game. Tough game for the Cougars today, going up against one of the best teams in the conference.
Yep.
How do the Cougars get it done here in Geisman today?
Well, speaking to what you said about how they have St. Norbert's got a lot of key playmakers. For me, the Cougs have to shut down Theory's supporting cast. If they can make it so that they're forcing Taylor Theory to do all the work and essentially put the team on her shoulders, then I think that they can put themselves in a chance to win. If they can shut down Theory's support, I think the Cougs have a shot of pulling off the big upset.
And for me, I think you switch it to the offensive end again, but for both teams. You look at that shooting percentage for St. Norbert's. It's great, especially that last game. They're a great shooting team. To that point, their 3-point shooting percentage is higher than the Cougars' shooting percentage in general. Yep. Today, the Cougars need to shoot well. You need to shoot well, and you need to shoot often, because that's something we've seen crop up. When this team is struggling, they're not putting up a lot of shots. They're turning the ball over. They're just running out the shot clock, missing shots. You need to find a way to keep putting up a lot of shots. Don't let the other team outshoot you, but you also need to make those shots. It's the name of the game in basketball. It's a lot easier said than done, but it comes right down to that today. The Cougars have to keep up with St. Norbert's. This team is going to score. You now need to score as well.
I agree with you 100%. They've got to figure out a way to go toe-to-toe with St. Norbert. For every punch that St. Norbert throws at them, they've got to throw one of their own if they want to stay in the game and potentially win.
And before we get ready for the national anthem and starting lineups, we'll take a quick look at the history between these two teams. And it is a very short history between the Cougars and the Green Knights. St. Norbert's and CUC first playing only just back in December in 2022. They've only ever played 4 games. And all 4 have been won by St. Norbert's. The Cougars yet to pick up a win against St. Norbert's. Most recently, their first game of their series this season in December. The Cougars lost that one. 43-69, as they have every other time they play the Green Knights. CUC looking to flip the script against St. Norbert's here today in River Forest. The Green Knights looking to continue to strengthen their hold on the NAC. The Cougars looking to continue to salvage some wins out of the end of this season. We'll be ready for that game in just a moment after the national anthem and starting lines right off here in River Forest. Don't go away, because we will be right back on the Cougar Sports Network. And we are ready to go here in River Forest. National anthem's been played, starting lineups been read, and two teams headed out onto the court. Now, we'll run through those starting lineups for you very quickly. For the Green Knights, number 3, Macy Mercer. Number 5, Rose Hahn. Number 10, Emma Morrissey. Number 11, Casey Jepson. Number 15, their star, Taylor Theory. For the Cougars, number 2, Sydney Nimskont. Number 22, Lindley Southern. Number 24, Kalia Reed. Number 25, and Anaya Hinton-Henry. And the player out there taking the tip, number 31, Abby Kulig, going up against Rose Hahn. Tips up, and St. Norbert's will take the opening possession.
St. Norbert's a very good team offensively, and so for this game, the Cougars really got to find a way to shut them down.
Mercer driving in, getting that over to Hahn, throws it up, and one. Rose Hahn going to have a chance at a three-point play to kick this game off.
Abby Kulig's a little bit unhappy with that call. She thought she was straight up, but ref saw otherwise, and like you said, Rose Hahn with the opportunity to complete the three-point play.
Hahn hits the free throw. That makes it a three-point lead to start this game for the Green Knights. Cougars chance to respond on their opening possession. Nimskon has on their sideline, swings to Hinton-Henry, back over to Southern, back to Hinton-Henry. Going to lay that off to Kalia Reed. Reed slowly working her way, and instead sends it back out to Nimskon. About 10 left on the shot clock. Kalia Reed pulls up from deep and hits it. Kalia Reed evens it up at 3-3 in the first minute.
Big answer by Reed to tie this game up. That's what they're going to have to do throughout this game. They got to go punch for punch with the Green Knights if they want to stay in it.
Hahn slowly working her way in, and Theory puts up her first points of the day, 5-3 now.
And Theory's a name we might be saying a lot tonight. She is the leader for most of the St. Norbert offensive capabilities.
Southern slings that over to Reed, and Reed sees a gap. That gap's closed. She has to get it back out to Southern. Now Southern working baseline out to Nimskont. Under 10 left on the shot clock. Reed calling for a little ISO. Driving in, long two, no good. And it's going to be rebounded by Jepson.
Henry made a run at the rebound, but unfortunately could not come up with it. Jepson managed to get it.
Hahn sends that to Jepson. Now Theory thought about slinging it in. Instead will send it over to Hahn, who swings that over to Morrissey. Now Morrissey back to Theory. 10 left on the shot clock. Morrissey loses it. That's going to be a steal for Kalia Reed. Reed lays that up and in to even this game up at 5. Reed puts on the clamps and picks up her first steal of the day.
Reed's doing everything to make sure that the Cougs stay tight with this very good St. Norbert team.
Morrissey swings that in, and that's going to be a hard foul by Anaya Hinton-Henry. That'll send Emma Morrissey to the line.
And one thing that the Green Knights are good at, well, they're good at many things, but they're a very good free throw shooting team. They shoot just about 73% on the season, so when they go to the line, they really make their opponents pay for it.
Morrissey hits the first free throw. And makes it 2-4-2, 7-5 lead for St. Norbert's early on. Reed working down the far side. Gets that to Southern. Now Southern waiting for an option. Gets it to Nimskont. Nimskont thought about driving, said lays it back to Kalia Reed. Nimskont running down the baseline to the far corner. Reed working with possession. Driving middle. Driving central. Still driving. Just throws it up. No good. Rolls off the rim. Rebounded by Theory. Now St. Norbert's will push the pace as they head back down. Mercer swings that to Hahn. Over to Morrissey. Morrissey working central and loses it. Kulig diving for it. Slaps it to Nimskont. Tries to get it to Hinton-Henry. Hinton-Henry wasn't ready for it. Mercer picks up the loose ball. Now Jepson moving in. Easy short shot. And St. Norbert's takes advantage of some chaos for a 9-5 lead.
And I think that's exactly how they drew that up. But hey, steal for the Cougs, immediate steal for them, led to 2 points for the Green Knights. So I doubt they're complaining.
And that play is just St. Norbert's able to handle the chaos better than the Cougars. You saw CUC got a bit out of sorts. It was working in their favor, but you try and rush that pass, try and take a bit too much.
Yeah, Henry just wasn't in the spot.
Now Nimscont, corner three, no good. Rebounded by Hahn. And St. Norbert's will bring it back down with a 4-point lead. Nice ball movement into Jepson, and St. Norbert's is into double digits. First team to crack that bar today. It's 11-5 now.
And we knew St. Norbert was going to come out fired on all cylinders offensively. The only question was going to be, can the Cougars hang with them?
Nimscont on the far side. It's that to Kulig, who's under pressure from Theory. Back to Reed on the near sideline. Reed working central, slings it to Hinton Henry, moving in, layup and in.
Good play by the Cougs to cut the lead to 4. Now they just need to get a stop defensively.
Mercer over to Jepson. Jepson slings that into Theory, kicks that out to Morrissey. Corner three, no good. Rebounded by Theory. And that's going to be a jump ball. Possession going the way of the Green Knights. Of the Cougars, actually. So CUC, productive defensive possession for CUC. Reed bringing point for CUC as they take it down the court. Working on Mercer, moving right. Looking for an option, drives it in herself, just throws it up and draws the foul.
It's a good play by Reed, just going up, making contact, trying to get the foul call from the ref, which she did.
And we have our first wave of substitutions. Taylor Theory subs out for Marnie Call. Also into the game is Kalina Winslow. First free throw from Reed is no good, so she'll have to try and salvage a 1-for-2 trip, and that's something the Cougars have struggled with on the season is free throw shooting. And Reed able to rattle her second shot in, so she salvages something, brings it to a 3-point game, 11-8. Morrissey running point, working on Reed. Moving left, gets it to Call. Call now to Winslow, driving in, throws it up, blocked and rebounded by Nimscont. Nimscont pushing the pace, and she'll just send that to Reed at Central. Clear Reed calling for the pick. Moving left, using the pick of Hinton Henry. Doesn't get anything out of it, so she'll send it back to Hinton Henry. Lays that to Lindley Southern. 10 seconds left. Nimscont pulls a three and hits it! And the Cougars tie it back up at 11.
Like we were saying, the question was, could the Cougs go punch for punch with St. Norbert's, and they've done so far.
Rose Hahn able to get that shot. Lindley Southern overcommits to seal the pass. St. Norbert's takes that lead right back 13-11.
That was a quick answer by St. Norbert to cut off the 6-0 Cougar run that they were going on.
Reed pulls for three, no good. No one there for the rebound. Morrissey takes it. She'll bring it down court, pushing pace, gets that to Winslow. Winslow moving in over to Kahn, and Kahn going to make it a 15-11 game.
She was left wide open there. She was all too happy to take advantage of that and just hit the short and easy jumper.
Nimscont flobs that in for Kulik, who gets it and just threw it up, rushed the shot. That's going to be rebounded by Morrissey again. She'll send that to Winslow. Winslow back over to Hahn. Swings to Jepson. Jepson thought about slinging it in, instead sends it over to Call. Call back to Morrissey. Morrissey stops, looking for somewhere to go. Gets it to Call. 10 left on the shot clock. Call takes down Kulig, puts up a shot, and it's short. And Abby Kulig still down on the court.
Yeah, first it just looks like she hit Kulig with an ankle breaker, but no, Kulig's still on her hands and knees on the floor.
It was slow to get up, but 15-11, 3:25 left in the first quarter. I mean, the Cougars are scoring at a rate that in most games would be very good for CUC. This is a team that does struggle to score. I mean, it's exactly what we said it was. St. Norbert is going to score. How much can CUC keep up? And to their credit, the Cougars have done a decent job of keeping up so far. They've been able to climb back in when they need to. The problem that you can probably anticipate with CUC is doing that for a full 40 minutes.
Yeah, consistency has been something that the Cougars have struggled with, especially in the latter parts of games.
Nimskant sends that to Reed in the corner. Reed driving baseline, puts it up off the back of the rim, but she does draw the foul. Kalia Reed will head to free throw line for a chance at 2. Hannah Lopez is coming to the game, as has Courtney Schneider. Abby Kulig off on the sideline, catching a breather. Kalia Reed's first free throw is up and in. Looking to make it a 2-for-2 trip. And she does not. That rims out, rebounded by Winslow.
St. Norbert now trying to get their lead back up to 2 possessions.
Hahn swings to Widak. Widak moving central on Reed, and she'll draw the foul on Kalia Reed. That's going to be on the floor. Reset of possession for St. Norbert's. Taylor Theory coming back into the game now.
That'll be the 3rd foul by the Cougs here, just 7 minutes into this first quarter.
That's inbounded to Theory, swung back over to Widak. Winslow back to Jetson, sends that into Theory. Theory puts it up and in.
It's a good play by Theory to get the shot up around the outstretched arms of Courtney Schneider.
Lopez central, swings it over to Reed. Reed moving in, backs out, sends it to Nimskant. Now Nimskant moving, driving, slings that back out to Lopez. Lopez tries to sling it over to Schneider. It's read and picked off by Theory. Theory, nice pass to Jepson along the sideline. Jepson working in, throws it up, blocked by Schneider. And Lopez is fouled on the loose ball. The CUC will take possession. Good defensive play. CUC, and they'll take possession back as they trail by 5, just over 2 minutes remaining in the first quarter.
They're going to call that foul on Theory, so that's going to be her first one of the game. Cougars trying to cut this Green Knights lead down to just 1 possession.
Lopez trying to lob that to Schneider again, and it's picked off by Theory again. Theory just driving in and throwing that up and in.
Last 2 Cougar possessions, Theory's done a great job of just reading what Lopez is going to do and stepping in the way of her passes.
Kalia Reed working from the near side, working on Widak. Moving left, looking for somewhere to go, slings it to Hinton Henry, who's just going to drive it in and throw it up and draw the foul. So the Cougars' possession is going to come down to some free throws once again. This time Hinton Henry at the line.
Cougars are 2 for 4 from the line so far tonight. All 4 of those have been shot by Kalia Reed. So now Hinton Henry trying to get that average up a little bit.
First free throw, no good. Last game out against Aurora, Hinton Henry was 3 for 6 from the free throw line. And you can make it 0 for 2 to start the day in River Forest. Widak going to push the pace immediately off of that rebound. Moving central, looking for somewhere, just sends it back to Borowski. Now Mercer driving in, plenty of space for an easy layup, and it's a 21-12 game.
Yeah, Cougars did a good job of tying this game up, and then since then, Green Knights have gone on a 6-0 run and have hit 5 of the last 7 shots from the field.
Reed just throws that up, no good. Rebounded by Call. Widak tries to sling that to Mercer. That's tipped away by the Cougars, out of bounds.
Reed gave chase, tried to corral it in, but unfortunately was not able to do so. I just ended up going back out of bounds, and now the Green Knights will have it with 22 left on the shot clock. And exactly 1 minute left on the game clock.
Mercer moving central, sends that to Winslow. Now Winslow back to Mercer, back to Widak. Back to Mercer, tries to send that in, and the Cougars unable to pick that off. 3 different Cougars.
Yeah, you had it.
Having a chance to grab the ball and none being able to do so.
Yeah, you had Paul, King, and Southern all there, but it was just too many cooks in the kitchen. The ball last bounced out of bounds off Southern.
Winnick slings that over to Winslow. Winslow moving central over to Winnick. Just has to pull the trigger, and it is short. That's going to be a shot clock violation. Cougars force a turnover.
It was a deep desperation 3 just to try to avoid the shot clock violation. Now Cougars get it. About a 7-second difference between game clock and shot clock here.
Clea Reed sends that to King, over to Paul. Back to Nimsicont. Nimsicont, delayed reaction to the pass, able to still corral it off her face. Now Paul back out to King. King over to Reed. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Reed calls for a screen. Reed driving in, backing out, pulls the trigger on a 3, and that is short. Nearly a shot clock violation, but Call will now have a chance to push the pace. Call moving in to beat the buzzer. No good, short. That'll do it for the first quarter. And it's the first quarter. The Cougars able to keep up in the first 5. Lose touch in the second 5. And as we head into a break, St. Norbert's leads 21-12. We'll take a short break here at the Cougar Sports Network, and we'll be back in just a moment for more Cougar basketball. And we are back in River Forest. Second quarter already underway, and St. Norbert's already underway as well. Avery Borowski putting up her first points of the day to make it an 11-point lead for the Green Knights. CUC struggling to keep pace with the Green Knights still. Now City Nimsicont working up top, looking for somewhere to go. Gets it to Southern. Southern moving right over to Paul. Paul pulls the trigger from 3, no good. That's going to be rebounded by Grace King. Cougars with a second chance. She'll send that back out to Paul.
Paul had a career day for the Cougars this past Thursday. Just hoping that she can have a repeat performance here tonight.
And Paul going to lose the dribble off of Borowski's feet. Loose ball still down. St. Norbert's comes up with it. And Call will slow it down. Sends that to Woodek over to Mercer. Now Winslow working high. Sends that into Woodek. Into Borowski for another 2.
Just like that, Green Knights have got themselves a nice 13-point lead as they've doubled up the Cougars on points.
Nimsicont swings over to Southern. Southern back to Lopez. Back over to King. King thought about pulling the trigger. Starts working her way in. Throws it up and short, but she does draw the foul on Marnie Call.
Yeah, she'll be heading to the line to shoot 2. Unfortunately for the Cougs, they haven't been very productive from the line tonight, just 2 for 6 from the charity stripe.
And Grace King on the season shooting 83% from the free throw line. Only has 6 attempts so far, but in that small sample set has been good. And she'll stay good. Hits the first free throw. She'll try to go perfect this trip.
Every point counts for the Cougs when you got a double-digit, trailing by double digits, you got to make up. You just got to go point by point to get back in it.
2-for-2 trip for Grace King. Cougs trail by 11. Morrissey running point. Swings that over to Jepson. Jepson sending that into Theory, able to corral it. Nice pass to Borowski, who puts up another 2. Avery Borowski already up to 6 in just 2 minutes here in the second quarter. Lopez sends that over to King, over to Reed. Reed back to Paul. Paul looking for somewhere to go. Backs out, sends it to Lopez, over to Reed. Now Reed again looking for something. She'll get an entry pass into Abby Kulig. Kulig sends that into King. King lays it up and in for 2.
That was a nice pass by Kulig, and it was a nice turnaround layup by King to cut this down to an 11-point game, as now the Cougs really need to stop defensively.
And Green draws the foul on Emma Morrissey. It looks like it'll actually be an illegal screen on Avery Borowski. So the Cougars will take possession back, trailing by 11. 7:41 left in the first half. 27-16 lead for the Green Knights. Kalia Reed running point. Sends that to Alina Paul. Alina Paul back over to King. King to now Kulig looking for somewhere to go. Gets it to King. King driving in, and that's going to be slapped away by Morrissey. 5 left on the shot clock. Reed just pulls the trigger off the back of the rim, and that is rebounded by Borowski. Gets it out to Morrissey. Morrissey, entry pass to Theory. Theory back out to Winslow. Winslow driving, baseline, puts it up and in.
Just like that, St. Norbert answers a Cougars miss with a make their own, just continuing to keep the Cougars at arm's length to keep this a comfortable double-digit lead for the Green Knights.
The Green Knights 4 for 4 from the field to start this quarter. There's a long pass from Nickerson out of bounds. Another turnover for CUC. St. Norbert's another productive defensive possession.
That'll be the 5th turnover by the Cougs here today. St. Norbert also has 5 turnovers, but Cougs haven't been able to really do anything with those.
Morrissey sends that to Conway. Borowski back to Conway. Over to Morrissey, sends that into Theory. Theory looking for somewhere to go, just starts working on Kulig. Borowski pulls the trigger for 3 off the back of the rim, no good, rebounded by Nickerson. Reed, far sideline, bringing it central. Driving in, plenty of space in the paint, lays it up, no good. Rebounded by Borowski. Long pass into Jepson. Jepson driving, lays it up and in.
It was a good play by Reed to drive. Unfortunately, she missed the layup, and then St. Norbert just flipped the court like that and went down and got a layup of their own.
Reed on the far sideline, calling for Kulig. Kulig looking for some option, gets it to Nickerson, tries to get that into King, swatted away by Borowski. Another turnover, Jepson pushing the pace, gets that to Theory. Theory, easy shot for 2. 35-16 lead now for the Green Knights, and it just looks like the Cougars can't keep pace with the speed of the game that St. Norbert's is playing.
No, St. Norbert's just kind of running them into the ground, almost like a track team out here in the Cougars. Like you said, they just can't keep the pace with the Green Knights. Are just not able to keep up with the speed that the Green Knights are playing at.
Alina Paul spinning her way into the paint, tries to sling it over to Reed, and it's well over her head and into the bleachers. This Concordia team just out of sorts.
Yeah, they've just been haven't been all on the same page recently. It's just bad passes or errant passes that have just given the ball right back to St. Norbert. And when you have bad passes like that, they're just turnovers. You can't really do anything to cut into the St. Norbert lead.
And the Cougars are now taking a 30-second timeout. It does look like at the end of that timeout, Coach Martin did get her wish. That call did get overturned, so that should be Cougars' possession coming out of the timeout. Ball may have been tipped by a Green Knight. Cougars trailing by 17, being more than doubled up. 5 minutes left in the first half.
Yeah, they'll definitely take the overturn call. And yeah, that's what it looked like to me. It looked like the ref was signaling that one of the Green Knights players had gotten a fingertip on it. So yeah, Cougars lucky to get the ball back with 9 left on the shot clock, but they really need to score here if they want to just try to cut into this St. Norbert's lead. St. Norbert's gone on a 6-0 run in the last 2 minutes. Meanwhile, the Cougars haven't scored for almost 3 minutes.
King to inbound. Gets it to Reed. 8 left on the shot clock. Reed looks like she'll just keep it herself. Calls for a screen. Just drives central, and she loses it. Jepson with the steal. Morrissey running point. Morrissey gets it to Conway. Conway looking for somewhere to go. Gets that to Borowski. Into Theory. Throws it up. Draws a foul.
I think they're going to hit that foul on Courtney Schneider, and she swatted through, so it'll be Schneider's first of the game as Theory has the line to shoot her first free throws of the game.
First free throw from Theory is up and in. And you're making a 2-for-2 trip for Taylor Theory. St. Norbert's leads 35-16. Theory already up into double digits in the first half at 10 points. Hinton Henry driving, has to back out to the three-point line. Driving again, baseline, slinging over to King. King to Nimskon. Nimskon pulls the trigger off the back of the rim and rebounded by Conway. Conway sends that to Jepson. Jepson looking for somewhere to go. Gets it to Borowski. Plenty of space for an easy layup for Avery Borowski.
St. Norbert is just slicing up this Cougar defense. They're just having their way with them, just hitting everything, and the Cougars just have no answer.
I mean, obviously St. Norbert's is shooting well, but they're hitting the shots they should because they're doing such a great job of creating easy shots, easy layups, opening up the paint, opening up the mid-range.
Yeah, the ball movement by the Green Knights is just fantastic so far.
Reed just has to pull the trigger as the shot clock winds down again. Rebounded by Schneider. Back out to Nimskon. She'll shoot a three. And she hits that one. Sydney Nimskon, her second made three of the day. Ends a nearly 4-minute scoring drought. And St. Norbert's responds with an acrobatic layup from Casey Jepson. Back up to a 20-point game, 39-19.
That was just a great answer by the Green Knights. Say, hey, you got a second chance three? Fine, we'll just go right down and hit a layup to get this back to a 20-point game.
Clea Reed moving in. Sends that to King. King looking for somewhere to go. Slowly working in. Puts up a layup. No good. Rebounded by Theory. Theory pushing the pace down court. Now Jepson working on Nimskon. Jepson moving central. Jepson tries to get that to Borowski. It's out of bounds off the foot of Borowski.
Now Cougars going to get the ball back. Still down 20, trying to somehow go on a run here in the last 2:46 of the first half. Ideally find a way to somehow get this within a 10-point game. It'll require a lot of work offensively and defensively.
Certainly Southern back into the game. She'll send a pass to Hinton Henry. You can't reel it in immediately, so that'll slow down the play. Nimskon now moving central. Nimskon driving in, mid-range, backing out. Trapped in the corner. Gets that out to Clea Reed. Under 10 left on the shot clock. Reed driving in. Still driving, just throws up a shot, and she's tagged with a travel. Clea Reed finally not able to get anything out of a drive.
Yeah, that drive very much felt like Reed knew the shot clock was expiring, so she just went up, tried to draw contact, but she took a few steps before she did so, and it was just another Cougar turnover.
Mercer swings that to Jepson. Jepson moving central, gets it to Borowski. Borowski Looking for an option. Gets it to Mercer. Now Mercer, plenty of space. And she draws a foul on Kalia Reed. That will be Reed's second tagged foul of the day. Reset of the shot clock for St. Norbert's. That's inbounded to Mercer. Sent over to Jepson. Jepson slowly moving in. Triple teamed, and she loses it.
Good play defensively by the Cougs there.
Nimsicon just pulls the trigger from 3 and hits it.
If the Cougars want to claw their way back into this game, they're just going to need shots like that.
Now Hahn driving in, unable to respond, but a forced pass out of Schneider is stolen by the Green Knights. St. Norbert's takes advantage of the Cougars' panic again and is able to put up 2 and respond.
Yeah, Southern dove to try to get that pass back, but unfortunately St. Norbert corralled it, hit a layup of their own.
Lindley Southern swings it to Hinton Henry. Hinton Henry moving left. Kalia Reed pulls the trigger from 3, and she hits that. The Cougars are hot from beyond the arc.
Brick by brick is what it's going to take for the Cougs to get back into this game.
Borowski pump fake and tagged with a travel.
Now the Cougs got about 55 seconds left in the first half. Got an opportunity to try to cut the lead down even more and get some momentum on their side as they head into the halftime break.
Kalia Reed running point. Plays that to Nimsicon. Nimsicon, now she'll move right, get it to Paul. Paul swarmed by Mercer, and Paul tagged with a travel.
It looked like there was a little bit of miscommunication on the handoff there from Nimsicon to Paul, and Paul wasn't able to just get a clean grab on it and just shuffled her feet a little bit.
Mercer going to work on Reed. Nice entry pass into Hahn. Hahn can't hit the reverse. Rebounded by Hinton Henry. Kalia Reed pushing the pace for CUC. 30 seconds left in the half.
About a 5-second notice between shot clock and game clock here.
Reed driving, just throws it up, and it's an air ball. Reed wanted to call, but there shouldn't have been one. Now Mercer running point. St. Norbert's, they'll look to draw out the clock. 10 seconds left in the quarter. That pass Borowski tipped back to Mercer. Now Borowski pulls the trigger from 3. Off the back of the rim, no good. Rebounded by Reed. And Kalia Reed, in her rush to put up a last-second 3, will be tagged with a travel.
St. Norbert's got 0.8 left on the game clock here. That's roughly about what you need for a catch and shoot. You don't really have time for a catch, turn, and shoot.
There should be another second on the clock, but it looks like they're not going to give it to the Green Knights. That's lobbed into the paint, and Schneider takes it. So that'll do it in the first half of play here at River Forest. St. Norbert's comes out shooting fast and shooting well. They lead 41-25 over the Cougars. CUC able to claw back a little bit of that deep deficit late in that second quarter, but they trail by 16 as these two teams head to the locker room. As the Cougars and Knights take a break down on the court. We'll take a break here at the Cougar Sports Network, and we'll be back in just a moment for more Cougar basketball. welcome back to River Forest, Illinois here on Saturday afternoon. Cougars trailing the Green Knights 41-25 as we get ready to head out of the half. And I mean, it's there's one big difference between these two teams, and it's the shooting. Now, the Cougars aren't necessarily getting outshot. They have 4 fewer shot attempts. What it comes down to is what it's come down to in a lot of games this season with CUC is that shooting percentage.
Yeah, like you said, Cougars only taking 4 fewer shots, but they're only shooting 36% from the field. St. Norbert, they're shooting 69%. They're 18 for 26. That's an incredible statistic, and that's what allowed them to pull away and build a 16-point lead here against the Cougs.
I mean, even that shooting percentage for the Cougars, by their standards, is not bad.
No, that's better than their season average.
The problem, though, is on the season it's a very low standard.
Yes.
The other part is you can't just have a decent game against St. Norbert's. This Green Knights squad, like you mentioned, over 69% from the field today. They're shooting, putting up incredible numbers with no three-pointers as well. They've gotten all of this production with twos and free throws. And mentioning free throws, that's another point of disparity between these two squads is free throw consistency. The Cougars have attempted 8. The Green Knights have attempted 5. The Green Knights have more made free throws than CUC. The Green Knights 100% from the line today. The Cougars 50%.
Yeah, the Green Knights are just able to get it done offensively in pretty much every place where the Cougars aren't. Like you said, they're shooting better from the free throw line. They're shooting just straight up better from the field. They haven't had to. They've only taken 3 3-point attempts because they haven't had to. They've just been getting it done in the paint and with their 5 free throws and with short jumpers that have allowed them to score 41 points in the first half.
And it's a harsh way to put it, but coming out of that first half, the way that first half looked was that this Cougar squad just couldn't compete at the same level as this Green Knights squad. Second half could be a different story. We'll see how fatigue starts to come into play as well. Like we mentioned, this Cougars team, a much thinner roster than the Green Knights. St. Norbert's, they're very deep. They have a lot of different options who can go out there and produce in leading roles and supplementary roles. The Cougars, they already don't have that many players, even fewer, who are able to be productive in major ways out on the court.
Yeah, like you said, Cougars don't have a lot of players. They have injured players, and then they have fewer still that are able to, when they get on the floor, really do anything sustained and meaningful. So if the Cougars somehow want to get themselves back in this game and have a big comeback and upset, they really need that supporting cast to really show up here and just start hitting the shots, and not just hitting the shots, but locking down the Green Knights defensively.
And we're getting ready to come back into that second half now. Green Knights have taken the court. CUC headed out now as well. Concordia will be starting with possession. Hinton Henry will inbound. Cougars back to their starting lineup. The Green Knights back to their starting lineup.
Cougs hoping the second half goes a little bit better than the first half did.
Reed running point. Moving to the near sideline. Slings it over to Nimskant. Nimskant driving hard to the left baseline and just throws up a shot, embracing the contact and drawing the foul.
Yeah, it's not a strategy you really endorse, just driving and shooting shots for the sake of trying to get a foul called, but worked that time for Nimskant, and she's going to the line.
Foul tagged on Morrissey. Nimskant hits the first free throw. She'll try to go 2 for 2.
Nimskant, best free throw shooter for the Cougs, roughly 74% on the season.
And she does. So the Cougars, they get 2 points on their first possession. They'll be back on defense. St. Norbert's, they've struck hard and quick so far today, and they do that again. An easy layup for Macy Mercer. And you want to talk about how this team has been shooting so well because of their shot creation. It's right there. Macy Mercer, who's a short player, being wide open in the paint and getting an easy layup in the paint.
Yeah, it was just good movement. She was able to cut right past the Concordia defenders, just go right down to get the shot up. Just didn't even have to barely break a sweat to do it.
That's a foul tagged on Rose Hahn for a push against Lindley Southern.
That'll be Hahn's first of the game. Neither team's got anyone in foul trouble yet.
Reed can't work down the baseline. She'll send that over to Kulig. Reed still nowhere to go. Shot clock under 10. Reed moving central. Just throws up a long two, and that's an air ball out of bounds. I mean, something else that I would say I've noticed from these Cougar possessions is they haven't been playing the offense with nearly enough urgency.
Oh, no, definitely not. When you're down a big deficit like this, you got to push the pace, and they're just not doing that. They're just kind of idle, it feels like.
Well, it's not even because of the deficit. It's because of the way this St. Norbert's defense plays. The Green Knights are perfectly content if the Cougars play a slow offense for the first 20, 25 seconds and then have to panic to get a shot up before the shot clock. That's where CUC's ended up on a lot of these possessions. They'll slow it down for about 10 seconds between that 10th and 20th second on the shot clock. And then they have to rush in those last 10 seconds. That's when you see shots like a panic long two because you have no time left on the shot clock. Kulig tries to get an entry pass. Hinton Henry swatted away by Fury. Jepson driving central. Layups airballed, rebounded by Hahn. Foul tagged on St. Norbert's. Cougars will take possession.
Maybe the second foul on Hahn in just about a minute of play.
Southern will inbound.
Trying to find a way to get something going offensively, but then on the flip side, get things going defensively as well.
Southern over to Hinton Henry. Slings across to Reed. Reed went to pull up a corner three, but stepped out of bounds. That'll be another turnover.
And she drained the three, too, but unfortunately, her heel was on the line before she did.
Mercer running point. Lobs that into Theory. Another easy layup for St. Norbert's.
Theory just cut straight through Southern, and Schneider just had the nice and easy layup. Get this back up to a 20-point Green Knight lead.
Then Scott back to Reed. Back to Hinton Henry. Schneider beyond the arc. Sends that over to Nimskant. 10 left on the shot clock. And Nimskant draws a foul on the floor. Another one tagged on Rose Hahn.
Hahn's really just picking up a lot of fouls here in quick succession. She'll exit the game now. Hahn's officially the first player on either team to be in foul trouble.
And that's going to be an offensive foul on CUC. An illegal screen tagged on Hinton Henry. That'll extend the Cougar scoring drought beyond 2.5 minutes. St. Norbert's takes possession back, leading by 10. Inbounded to Mercer. And she'll run point. Going to work on Hinton Henry. Sends that over to Witek. Witek back to Winslow. Theory. Entry pass into Witek. And Jepson, mid-range jumper, hits it. 22-point lead now for St. Norbert's.
Jepson was just wide open on that one. Wasn't even a contested shot. She just had to stand there and drain it.
Reed driving towards the baseline, backing out to the three-point line, over to Nimskant. Now Nimskant moving central. Sends that out to Southern. Southern moving central. Can't get a pass off this time. Blocked by Winslow. Fury loses the pass, able to reel it back in. Gets that over to Winslow. Witek moving in on Nimskant, and it's blocked by Nimskant.
That was a great play by Nimskant. Just read what the Green Knights are doing and get the block on Witek.
Kodia Reed lobbing that over to Sydney Nimskant. Entry pass into Schneider. Double team. Gets it out to Southern. Southern driving. Just throws that up. And draws the foul.
It's a little bit of a late foul call on Witek. It was after Southern had the shot up and hit the floor. So Wittek's trying to talk to the ref and figure out what she did wrong. She thought she was perfectly straight up.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. Woodek has a fair gripe here. That was a pretty soft call. Feet technically weren't set, but I mean, she wasn't really moving. The contact was initiated by Southern. Woodek didn't move in on Southern at all, but Southern goes 1 for 2 from the line, so Woodek will be satisfied somewhat that only 1 point came out of that. But yeah, I mean, that's really what we've honestly seen a lot out of the Cougars in this half so far, is being willing to create that contact, trying to draw a foul, and it's been working. CUC just hasn't been able to take advantage of it enough.
Yeah, it works great when you're hitting 100% from the line, but when you're not, it doesn't go well.
There's a foul tagged on Courtney Schneider. Blocking caused Theory to trip up.
That'll be Schneider's second one of the game so far. It's the Green Knights now got a nice 20 seconds on the shot clock to make something happen.
Mercer to inbound, gets it into Paul. Over to Woodek. Woodek, that's pass is slapped away by Paul, grabbed by Mercer. Over to the corner to Jepson. Corner three. No good off the back of the rim, rebounded by King.
That's just the fourth three the Green Knights have shot all season, or shot all game, sorry. They haven't had the need to shoot them.
Cougars beat the press, gets that over to Nimskant. Nimskant to King. King back over to Paul. Paul gets that into Schneider, double team. Schneider can't get to the room, back out to Paul. Over to Nimskant. It's 5 left on the shot clock. Nimskant just going to drive and throw it up, and she is blocked! Blocked by Winslow.
I think they're going to put 1 second on the shot clock, maybe? I think they're saying it was out of bounds on the Green Knights. But that was just a fantastic block by Winslow to just deny Schneider on that shot attempt.
1 second left on the shot clock. And to make it obviously clean, too, so that Nimskant wouldn't be able to draw another foul.
Right, that was 100% all ball by Winslow.
1 second left on the shot clock. Going to be a catch and shoot. Into Schneider. Throws it up and couldn't get it off in time. Shot clock violation.
Yeah, the only way the Cougars would have avoided that would have been if on the inbound they just hit it up. Didn't really have time to catch it and shoot it.
And they could have, but Schneider brought the ball down a bit before throwing it up. That's what cost the opportunity. Nice play from Winslow. Another nice play. Can't get it above the rim. Rebounded by Schneider. Pass to Reed, so the Cougars have pushed the pace back the other way. Nimskant straight away. Long three. Bangs it in.
Nimskant's been on fire from three. She's 4 for 6.
Jetson to Call. Back over to Woodek. Now Mercer looking for somewhere to go. Nice pass into Call, and a nice finish from Marnie Call, and she'll have an opportunity for an and one.
Beautiful play by Call to just cut inside, get the ball, and then get the layup and the contact. Hoping to get the three-point play completed with her first free throw of the day.
This is a ball movement that has been slicing up Concordia today. Call hits it, makes it a three-point play. St. Norbert's back to a 21-point lead.
Green Knights also remain perfect from the charity stripe at 6 for 6 on the day.
King sends that into Schneider. Back out to Reed. Reed from three. Hits it! Back-to-back threes again for Concordia.
They got the threes falling, but now they need to play some defense.
And that's not defense. Kalina Winslow, wide open layup. 5 feet of space in the paint.
There was no one there on the baseline, and she just went right down and hit the reverse layup.
And Courtney Schneider is going to be tagged with a travel.
She disagrees with that call, but nevertheless, St. Norbert ball once again.
And Lauren Martin's going to call a full time out. Try and get her team back together. They still trail by 20, 3:46 left in the third quarter. We'll take a break here at the Cougar Sports Network. We'll be back in just a moment for more Cougar basketball. And welcome back to River Forest. Concordia Chicago trailing by 20 with 3:46 left in the third quarter. St. Norbert's, they've been good again in the third quarter. Not as good as they have been today, but still very good, outscoring the Cougars by 4 so far. Whittek driving her way in. Kicks that out to Winslow. Now Winslow driving but traveling before she starts. Another turnover for St. Norbert's.
Yeah, Winslow was a little bit too excited to get the ball on that one. She got it and just took a few steps before she dribbled for the first time.
Lopez sends it over to Hinton Henry. Hinton Henry back to Nimsicont. Over to Paul. Paul driving, throws it up. Not even close, but King's there to grab it. Her shot's no good. Rebounded by Whittek. St. Norbert's pushing the pace. Morrissey moving in slowly. Nice pass to Borowski. And Avery Borowski, another bucket.
Borowski with a great cut to just get past Grace King on the baseline. And then when she got the ball, just tapping in nice and easy.
Alina Paul sends that over to Hinton Henry. Hinton Henry working central. Back to Lopez. Lopez over to Nimsicont. Nimsicont pulls the trigger. No good. Rebounded by King. Back to Nimsicont. Over to Lopez. Lopez tries to get that into King. That's knocked out of bounds by Whittek. The Cougars will keep possession with 12 seconds left on the shot clock. Grace King to inbound. Gets that into Hinton Henry. Back to King. Corner three. No good. Straight to Morrissey. Morrissey, nice behind the back move. Driving all the way in. Knocked out of bounds by Hinton Henry.
Yeah, Morrissey had a nice little play there. Just keep the ball rolling and get her down into the paint. Swatted away by the Cougs. But Green Knights will have 24 on the shot clock to work with.
Theory back into the game. Inbound pass will go to Winslow. Three. No good. And that's going to be a turnover. Cougars possession. Ball bouncing off of the rope above the hoop. Inbounded to Lopez.
Cougars still trying to get this deficit back under 20.
Lopez hands that off to King. King swings over to Paul. Paul now trying to work on Winslow. Long pass over to Lopez. Lopez back out to Paul. 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Over to Nimsicont. Pulls the trigger. That's wide right, but it's Banks off the backboard and in. Sydney Nimsicont. Another tray. And the Cougars are back to a 19-point deficit.
That was a beautiful three by Nimsicont. It wasn't straight through the net, but she banked it, and she'll take the end result.
Winslow driving in. Mid-range floater off the backboard and in. Kalina Winslow, another good response to a three-pointer. Alina Paul at the far sideline. Lobs that in for King. Picked off by Fury. Morrissey pushing the pace, moving in, throws that up, taps the rebound over to Whittek. Now Winslow is going to lose that out of bounds. And they're going to call a foul on Sydney Nimsicont.
Bit of a late foul call there. Just kind of waited for the ball to land out of bounds before the ref blew his whistle. But nevertheless, Green Knights have the inbounds play.
Conway to inbound. She'll lob that into Call. Call moving baseline out to Winslow. Winslow over to Jepson. Jepson moving in, throws it up, no good. Rebound, Theory, and one!
Nice play by Theory. Just be there to be under the hoop to get the rebound, just put it right back up and draw the contact to hopefully complete the three-point play.
St. Norbert's have been rebounding Concordia Chicago 20-14 today. A lot of that's placement. Theory makes it a three-point play. She's up to 17 points on the day.
Now, like you said, with placement, it's just been a lot of the Green Knight players just being able to get to the good spots to get either the missed Cougar shots Or their missed own shots to create some second chance opportunities.
Nimscott driving baseline past King. King blocked by Theory. And she'll get tagged with a foul immediately after. Couldn't get out of the way of Winslow. That'll send Kalina Winslow to the line with a 14-point lead.
Yeah, both teams now in the bonus here with 40 seconds left in the third quarter.
Winslow hits the first shot. And misses the second. First missed free throw of the day for the Green Knights.
Roughly 8-second difference between shot clock and game clock here.
Reed moving in. Still moving in. Throws it up and draws the foul.
Reed will be heading back to the line. She's only 2 for 4 from the charity stripe tonight. Hoping to make it now 4 for 6 ideally.
First free throw make. I'm going to go 2 for 2, and she does. 25 seconds left in the third quarter. Conway running point.
Green Knights can hold to take the last shot if they choose to do so.
Conway, central, 10 seconds left. Still holding. Just over 5 seconds. And Kalia Reed's going to draw an offensive foul.
Going to call it on Theory, it looks like.
Illegal screen. Head coach Amanda Leonard Perry is not happy with Reed. Chance for a last-second desperation heave. Chucks it up and not even close. That'll do it for the third quarter. St. Norbert's, they've been consistent today. 21 points in the first quarter, 20 in the second, 21 points in the third quarter. They lead Concordia Chicago 62-39 after that third quarter of play. As the two teams take a break on the court, we'll take a break here at the Cougar Sports Network. We'll be back in just a minute for the final quarter of action between the Cougars and the Green Knights. And we're back on the Cougar Sports Network for the final quarter of action. St. Norbert's leads 62-39 over the Cougars.
Hasn't been a great day offensively or defensively for the Cougs.
When you look at those notable scoring differences, St. Norbert's 17 points off turnovers, CUC 6. St. Norbert's 50 points in the paint, which is an absurd number to begin with. Only 6 for the Cougars. Both teams only 3 second chance points. And then St. Norbert's 11 fast break points to the Cougars 5. St. Norbert's 24 points off the bench to the Cougars 4. But CUC going to be able to force a loose ball turnover on St. Norbert's opening possession of this quarter.
Yeah, Cougs trying to pull off the impossible, make up a 23-point deficit here in the fourth quarter.
Inbounded to King. King, nice pass to Reed. Reed can't finish.
It's a good play by King to get the ball to a streaking Reed, but Reed just couldn't complete the play.
Hahn can't hit the reverse again.
Teams trading some missed shots here early in the fourth.
And Scott moving left, lands it off to Hinton Henry, back to Reed. Reed back to Nimsicott. Hinton Henry slings that over to Reed, pulls the trigger. No good, off the rim. Rebounded by Borowski.
Reed had the angle for the three, just was a little bit too strong and went off the far side of the rim.
Hahn over to Theory. Theory over to Mercer. Mercer now. Nice move on Nimsicott. Macy Mercer. Easy layup.
That was a beautiful move by Mercer to step around Nimsicott and just get the layup. Ah, just beautiful play by Mercer there.
Nimsicott over to Lopez. Lopez long pass to Reed. Reed driving in, just throws it up and draws the foul.
We've been doing that a lot this game to mixed results, but with that time she managed to get the foul called.
Yeah, you just see the St. Norbert's players laughing after every foul call at this point in the game.
Yeah, they have 14 fouls called to the Cougars' 11.
Reed hits the first free throw. And she'll make it 2 for 2.
Of the 16 Cougar free throws that have been attempted today, Reed has shot 8 of them.
Hahn gets that into Hayes.
I think they're going to call Grace King with the foul there. She made contact with, I believe, Hahn. So now the Green Knights will inbounds with 21 left on the shot clock.
Mercer can't get it to Hayes. Picked off by Schneider.
Nice play by Schneider, just step in front of that pass.
Kalia Reed gets tagged with a carry.
It's going to be Reed's 5th turnover of the game.
Macy Mercer running point. Lobs that in central for Jepson. Jepson misses the layup. And rebound out of bounds off of Hayes. St. Norbert's trying to get Hayes some minutes here late in the game.
Yeah, if you're St. Norbert at this point, you're not super worried about choking it. So you're just letting some of the bench players come in, get minutes, get experience.
Nimsicott into Schneider. Schneider throws it up. No good. Rebounded by Borowski.
Schneider tried to work around the St. Norbert defender, but just couldn't get the right angle for the shot.
Mercer over to Hayes. Borowski wide open in the paint. Easy layup.
Borowski was just an island there for St. Norbert. Wasn't a Cougar close to her, and she just catch, shoot, right off the backboard for the layup.
Reed moving central. Back over to Schneider. Back to Reed. Over to King. King to Hinton Henry. Hinton Henry driving in. Kicks out to Nimsicott. And the three-pointer is blocked. And it looks like they're
I think they're going to call a foul
calling
on
a foul
Hahn.
on it.
Hahn looks a little upset by that one. She thought it was just all ball.
I mean, they're going to call it on the contact after the block.
Either way, it's Hahn's 4th foul, so imagine they might be making a substitution for her soon.
Nimsicott hits the first of free throws. Leonard Perry was giving the refs a piece of mind after that foul call. She's done that a few times today, and
rightly so in some cases.
On inbounds to Morrissey. Morrissey running point. Working on Reed. Gets that to Borowski. And there's going to be a foul tagged on King.
I think they're going to get her with a slap on Borowski, which was trying to make a play for the ball.
Morrissey, long inbound pass. Hayes puts up a shot, no good. Rebounded by Schneider.
Cougars moving down the court rapidly, trying to get this lead back under 20.
Nimsicant back to Reed. Reed back to Nimsicant. Nimsicant calling for a screen. Sends that to Southern. Southern's pass to Schneider. Eventually tapped out of bounds by Schneider.
Green Knights get the ball back. On inbounding as they're just looking to close out the game here in the last 6 minutes and 20 seconds.
Wedek moving central. Sends that over to Hahn for three. And finally, St. Norbert's hits a three. Rose Hahn from deep.
Makes them 1 for 6 from three tonight. Just haven't had a need to shoot them. They've just been shooting incredible from two. So when you don't need them, you don't need to put them up.
Nimscont over to Southern. Southern moving in. Slings that over to King. King thought about a corner three. Tries to get that to Schneider, and it's instead picked off by Borowski. Morrissey bringing it down court. Moving in. Space in the paint. Throws it up. Fouled by King. That'll be King's 4th foul of the day.
Now I got 2 Cougars in foul trouble, Nimsicant and King, and 1 Green Knight as Hahn's got 4 fouls of her own.
This isn't the most absurd total of fouls that we've seen in a game this season, but they are very concentrated. Nimsicant, King picking up a lot for the Cougars. Hahn, in theory, picking up a lot for St. Norbert's.
Yeah, we've seen some games this season where there have just been what seems like an excessive amount of fouls called.
First free throw from Morrissey is good. Makes it 70 points for St. Norbert's. Make it 71. Morrissey 2 for 2 on that trip to the line. Reed running point. Moving right. Sends that to Hinton Henry. Hinton Henry moving left. Lands that off to Nickerson. Nickerson over to Reed. Reed thought about moving in. Said pulls the trigger on a three off the back of the rim. No good. Rebounded by Morrissey. Morrissey moving past Reed. Sends it over to Wedek. And Wedek tagged with a travel.
One big difference between these two teams, St. Norbert's got 13 turnovers now. Meanwhile, the Cougars have 20. When you have 20 turnovers, you're usually not going to be able to beat the other team unless you cause them to have 21, which has not been the case for the Cougs tonight.
Anna Lopez running point. Sends it over to Paul. Paul moving central, about to Nimsicant. Nimsicant thought about a three. So she's swarmed by Morrissey. Doesn't have an option. Gets it to Hinton Henry. Hinton Henry driving in. Fouled by Hahn.
That's a questionable call. That's Hahn's 5th. From this angle to me, Jonathan, that looked like it was all ball. It didn't look like Hahn made any physical contact there.
And Coach Leonard Perry not getting too upset with the official. Not worth it at this point in the game. You lead by 26, but you can see you're down on a knee for a while after that call as St. Norbert's figures out who they're putting into the game to replace Hahn.
Yeah, that was... Yeah, from this angle, it looked like Hahn just made all ball.
Kat Miller into the game for the first time today.
Paul inbounding the Cougs, who less than 5 minutes to go here in the 4th quarter.
Hinton Henry out to Paul. Paul slings it back to Hinton Henry. Puts up a shot. Blocked by Miller.
Beautiful block by Moore. Pushing the pace now.
Morrissey out to Miller. Gets that out to Hayes. Over to Conway. Puts up a shot and hits it. Olivia Conway is not running cardio today. Gets her first points of the night on a three-pointer. And St. Norbert's leads by 30. Paul tries to respond with a three. That's long.
And that's the story of this game. The Cougars just haven't been able to answer what St. Norbert's been doing.
Miller working on Nimscott, moving baseline. Gets that to Morrissey, wide open in the paint for an easy layup.
And the Green Knights have just been fantastic when it comes to ball movement and cutting and getting people open to make easy shots, and that's how they've just been driving the Cougars into the ground and getting themselves a 32-point lead.
Nickerson trapped on the baseline, out of bounds off of Hayes. CUC will restart their possession with 16 seconds left on the shot clock. Paul inbounds to Nimscott. Nimscott looking for somewhere to go. Long pass to Paul. Pulls the trigger on a three and hits it.
Lena Paul getting her first points of the night.
And she gets it on a triple. Cougars now 9 for 21 from deep. Kat Miller gets out to Conway. She goes for three again. She hits for three again. Cougars leaving Conway open on the perimeter, and she makes them pay twice in a row.
Conway's 2 for 2 from the field, but both of them have been threes.
Nimscott to Nickerson. Nickerson gets it to Paul. Paul puts up the mid-range shot. No good. Rebounded by Mullen.
Good play by Paul to get the shot up. Just unfortunate for her, it did not fall.
Morrissey running point. Gets it to Hayes. Hayes has to put up a tough shot. Tipped out of bounds by Nickerson. 32-point lead for St. Norbert. And they'll keep possession with 18 seconds left on the shot clock. Miller to inbound. Looks to Huffman. Huffman back out to Mullen. There's a nice move and a nice layup from Elena Schwann. Her first points of the night. The bench warmers are in for St. Norbert, and they're still cooking the Cougars. Hinton Henry not ready for that pass. That's going to be a steal for Elena Schwann.
And Henry didn't even have her head in that direction. She was just heading towards the hoop, and then I think at the last second heard the ball coming and just ducked.
Huffman driving baseline, back out to Hayes, over to Schwann, over to Miller. Now Miller moving central, tries to throw up a shot, and she is fouled.
Gonna get the foul on Emma Nickerson with that one. That'll be her first foul of the afternoon.
I mean, for a team that scores 81 points, one of the most absurd stats I've seen. Honestly, 58 points in the paint.
Yeah. And only now 11 points from the free throw line. They've just been playing, what is it called, ethical basketball, when you're just hitting all your shots from the floor with not many from the line.
It's ethical basketball. I like to call it free range.
Free range basketball.
But, you know, a nice ethical, free range, organic basketball game. That's what St. Norbert has been playing today. They're a good team. As Sydney Nimscott drives in and picks up an and one. Coach Amanda Leonard Perry wants to know what's up with that call again. As Nimscott has a chance to tie her career high with this free throw. But I mean, the Cougars, yes, they have struggled at points today. Yeah, their shooting hasn't been where they want it to be, especially from the field. But you look at St. Norbert's, it's going to be hard to beat a team playing as well as this Green Knight squad. Hayes misses an easy layup. Second chance opportunity, misses it again. Rebounded by Schwann, who's there for the third chance bucket.
Yeah, when the other team shoots 63%, there's not a whole lot you can do unless you shoot 64%.
Hinton Henry drives for a layup.
Nice cut by Henry. It's usually a big factor for the Cougs. She only has 4 points today.
Hayes over to Miller. And that's tapped out of bounds by Nimscott. Just over a minute 15 left in the game. St. Norbert's leads by 33. And that inbound pass picked off by Nimscott. She'll drive right in for a layup, and it is blocked by Kat Miller.
Nimscott went down hard by her camera over there. She's slow to get up now, holding that left knee.
And she'll slowly make her way back onto the court. Big block from Kat Miller. She wins the one-on-one, and Nimsicon today is going to be done. She'll sub out of the game. Courtney Schneider coming back in. Sadie Nimsicon ends the game with 23 points, tying her career high. Paul to inbound, gets it to Lopez. Lopez pulls the trigger from 3, and she hits! Another 3 for the Cougars.
That gets Lopez her first points of the game on a first shot attempt of the game as well.
Huffman. Over to Mullen. Now Miller from 3. No good. Rebounded by Lopez. Hannah Lopez, running point. Gets it to Alina Paul. Paul sends that into Schneider. And Schneider has it stolen away by Miller. Kat Miller coming alive in the last couple minutes. Feints to pass. Easy layup.
Now Miller's got 4 points of her own.
Alina Paul coming down the far sideline. Under half a minute to go in the game. We'll see if the Cougars try to put up another shot. Hannah Lopez gets that to Nickerson. Nickerson working her way in. Spinning shot blocked by Miller again. And St. Norbert's can't really take it easy. The Cougars still playing a tight defense on St. Norbert's.
Yeah, Hinton Henry's going for that ball every step of the way. It'll send the Green Knight to the free throw line with just under 7 seconds left.
32-point lead for St. Norbert's. Could get bigger if Larissa Huffman goes 1 for 2 on this trip, and she will. 88-55 is the score now. Hannah Lopez moving central. Double teamed, throws up a desperation 3, glancing off the rim. That's how the game will end. As that ball drops to the ground, drops to Jupiter, comes back on in Geisman Gymnasium. St. Norbert's wins it 88-55, a free-range blowout for the squad from up north. CUC falls in their third straight, losing by 33 here at home, just unable to keep pace with the Green Knights of Wisconsin.
Yeah, it seemed like in the first 5 minutes of this game that the Cougars had a shot. Early on, it was, I believe, an 11-11 game, but then St. Norbert just turned on the Jets, turned on the thrusters. They went on a run, and it was pulled themselves out to a lead that the Cougars never managed to get back from.
I mean, a lot of it comes down to that consistency again. Concordia Chicago just not able to stay consistent shooting from the field like they did to start the game. St. Norbert's 61% from the field. I mean, that shooting percentage dropped with the second, with honestly the third stringers in. At the end there, starters shooting remarkably well. Taylor Theory, 17 points on a perfect 7 for 7 shooting. Avery Borowski, 14 points on 7 for 9 shooting. A couple more of those stats out. Your score leader on the day, Sydney Nimscon, 23 points for CUC, 5 for 8 from 3. Big day for the freshman at guard, Clea Reed, 17 points for Concordia Chicago. But beyond those two, no one on the Cougars had more than 4 points. You look up and down that roster for St. Norbert's, plenty of players more than 5 points.
Yeah, it was just a full day by the Green Knights. They shared the love. A lot of people scored, like you said, above 5 points. That's what allowed them to just kind of trample the Cougars here.
The St. Norbert's, they'll move on from here, and they'll head to Alverno College, taking on the last place team in the conference for what should be a tune-up game for this St. Norbert squad as they get ready to close out this season against the Milwaukee School of Engineering. A chance for payback in their final game of the season, but really it's focus. The focus is on that conference tournament now for the Green Knights. For the Cougars, they'll stay at home this Wednesday for their home finale against Illinois Tech at 7 p.m. this Wednesday, February 19th. Looking to try and pick up another win before this season ends and have somewhat of a high note to end the season on. That'll do it here in Geisman Gymnasium for the Concordia Chicago Cougars. CUC falls 55-88 to St. Norbert's College. That'll do it for now on the Cougar Sports Network. We'll be back in half an hour for this men's game in the doubleheader. Concordia Chicago men's squad taking on St. Norbert's men's squad. The Cougars men's team, they have been hot lately. St. Norbert's, they're one of the best teams in the conference. Should be a barn burner coming up in Geisman Gymnasium later today. And we'll be right here for that on the Cougar Sports Network. But for this women's game, thank you for joining us on the Cougar Sports Network. And we'll be back in half an hour for more Cougar basketball.